Good morning, team. Good morning. So this green box, I made a slight adjustment to it and moved it down a little bit, just looking left. But so far that level is holding. Thinking about getting in a pre-market position, but I don't know. We'll see. So looking obviously super bearish after NFP and all the data this morning. Downtrend, making new lows on the hourly. So I'm kind of looking for a little bit of a bounce at the open, but maybe a spot to short. So if it comes back up to VWAP around 910, that could be a spot to take a short. We could also look at this area at like 852, somewhere in there. Happy Friday, everybody. Buenos dias. This London low is from 2 days ago? No, this is today. That's basically the current pre-market session. You could call it pre-market low, whatever you want to call it. But the London session's still technically open. And that's the low right now. Yay, Friday! My kids start spring break next week. So today's their last day. So they're saying yay, Friday too. I like the fact that it's holding this level. And we've already dropped so much that I could see us opening to the upside at the pre-market or at the market open. The thing that's throwing me off, I guess, is that gold is also bouncing off of a support level and starting to reclaim VWAP. So I don't expect both of them to go in the same direction. Daylight savings is this weekend. Good to know. So our spring break, we have like a little 3-day weekend, which my mom, Gammy, started a tradition called cousin camp. So I have some cousins, some female cousins that have kids that are all around the same age as mine. So they're technically like second cousins, my kids and their kids. But the grandmas get all the cousins, second cousins together. And they call it cousin camp. So that's what they're doing this weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend. So that'll be a 4-day span, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to do that at one of the grandparents' houses. And my husband and I are going to get to disappear for 24 hours. Have a little overnight getaway. That'll be fun. Because we don't have any grandparents that live in the area that watch our kids. So it'll be nice to get away. And then other than that, we're just going to do fun stuff around here. We have a place called Cidercade, which is like unlimited arcade games the kids really like. Slick City. If you guys have never heard of Slick City, if you have one near you, check it out. If you have kids, it's so much fun. So we're doing stuff like that. Three minutes until market opens. This is a good day to size down and be careful because of all the crazy NFP stuff and all the other news releases today and Friday. So I showed you NQ. This is the level I'm watching. If we hold here, I could see us bouncing. Gold. So this is the position I was in Discord, and it hit my trailing stop loss, which is annoying. So, I mean, I was green on it, but like 50 bucks. But it's moving in the direction I thought it would. So this was the NFP candle, this big green one right here. And it came down, it retraced that candle and bounced off of my high volume node, and that's what made me get in long. But here on this candle at 9:10, I had my stop loss at a little above break even, and it wicked me out. But yeah, I'd be looking for longs on gold up to this red box zone. That was the scenario that I laid out last night. And maybe even higher if this thing stays bullish. Because news for NFP was definitely bullish. So I'll be looking for another entry on gold to go long. If it stays that way. Alright, market opens in 20 seconds. Let's see. The news today was non-farm payroll. There was other stuff. Retail sales and U.S. average earnings and unemployment rate. That's what it was today. Good morning, good morning. All right, we are getting that bounce. It's a little choppy though. Looking for it to possibly come up to this red zone or even a little bit higher at VWAP. If we get a rejection there, somewhere between like 850 and 900, that could be a decent spot to short. Or if this thing just like blasts to the moon, I'm not going to be shorting it. So I'll be watching to see how it reacts up there. That is also the candle where the news release happened right there at 8:30. So that would look like, that would be a retrace of the news candle and then a rejection. So that's definitely a possibility. There we go. Getting some continuation up. Should have gotten into that pre-market long, huh? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. She's going now. Look at NQ run. Dang. I'm still watching gold. I like the idea of longs on golds, but it's kind of open and a little bit choppy. I'm not seeing anything that I love. Looks like NQ is still kind of processing the news a little bit. Now we're coming down. All right, so far, this is our 15-minute low. Watching for a sweep of this London low. If it bounces down here at like 614-ish, 612, could be a decent spot to catch a sweep long. I'm watching. Gold's coming down too. Let's see if it holds this low. Pretty good bounce. That was a nice little tap. I like the ideas of longs here. The VWAP, the yellow line VWAP is anchored at the 8:30 news candle. That one right there. If that's what you were asking about, Kimmer. Good morning. Happy Friday, Waffles. Still watching this level. If it holds, I'm going to grab along. Let's see. All right. 639 is where I entered. Let's see if it holds. No, I'm on NQ. Take no marvel. And then as far as targets, I'm going to see if it comes back up to this red box area. But I'm going to watch this opening range high too at 730. Come on. That was one position that I took off. Sorry, I didn't have it on the right screen for you guys. So 850 I think is where I'd like to see it go. Couple reasons for that target. That's kind of where we broke down on the news candle. We also have our session VWAP up there, and our weekly VWAP is right around there. But I also have my stop loss in profit because this thing could dump too. Thank you, Eve. I appreciate that. Four-hour support level. Yeah, I don't know if I had it as a 4-hour support, but this green zone is kind of where I was expecting it to bounce. Plus, we had London low down here. So there were lots of reasons for it to bounce at that level. I liked that level. All right, 3 minutes until the 15-minute opening range is set. Right now I have my stop loss down here at like 657 because I want to give it room to bounce off of this New York anchored VWAP. And I still feel like it could get some upside continuation. So I want to make sure to protect my risk, but also give it a little bit of room to breathe because we're still within the first couple minutes of market open. Volatile times. Well, there you go, G-Man. That's one thing I love about trading. When there's like all kinds of reasons for that level. People have, like, there's times that I take a trade because it's value area low and I have a high volume node there or something, and then someone else in the chat is like, yeah, there's a 20 EMA on the hourly there too. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, but awesome. Extra confluence. Almost have our 15-minute opening range. I'm not liking this rejection. I wonder if we're going to see more downside. Not looking super strong. All right, that's going to hit my stop loss. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Are you not going to hit it? Oh, that's funny. I was so ready to be out of this position. Dang. Look at all those wicks. Our opening range is set. Which way we gonna break? NQ, where are we going? Look at these 15-minute candles. NQ doesn't know where it's going either. All right, there's my stop loss. Still grab some good profits off of it. That's all right. Still pretty indecisive, honestly. Take note, Marvel. Yeah, I did. I took partials, and then I had my stop loss in profit. Still watching for a possible long. If it gets back above VWAP, if it holds like above 686, that could be a good spot for a long. But I also want to see some movement outside of this choppy consolidation. It might be safer to wait for an opening range break and then retest and then take a long off of that. Or if it even comes down and retests, if it like breaks out of the range, comes back down and retests VWAP, and then we could take the long. Something like that would probably be the safer bet. When can we get 50% off of Lucid? Lucid is 50% off right now for your first 2 accounts. So if you've never traded with Lucid before, you've never gotten an account with them, the first 2 accounts are 50% off if you use code Krista. The next 5 accounts after that are 40% off. So that's the promotion that they have right now. Yeah, I think this is going to go up. That's what I'm leaning towards. It's just chopping around a little bit first. Probably still processing the news. So the problem with taking a long here is, I guess it's not a problem. You just have to downsize a lot, because if you took a long here, really your stop loss should be down here, or at least that's where I would put it. So that's like a 65-ish point stop loss, depending on where you enter. So a better trade for me, like I said, is to wait for confirmation. Wait for the breakout of this range, and then a retest, preferably of VWAP, and then take a long from there. So I think that's what I'm watching for. What's ES doing? Yeah. ES and NQ are both kind of looking about the same. ES actually made a new low. Like, it didn't hold its London low like NQ did. ES is reclaiming that 15-minute opening range low, though. That's a good sign for us to bounce. All right, NQ, here we go. Getting back to the top of the range. Getting a breakout. Let's see if we get a little bit of a candle closure outside of the range. I usually watch the 2-minute chart for that. So candle closure outside of the range, and then a retest of this like 680s level. Let's see if we get a long down here. Something like that if we get a retest. Yeah, we do have Fed speakers. And with all the news from this morning, still processing all that. So trade safe, guys. It is retesting Stop loss I would put right around here. All right, I'm going to enter. The only downside is it didn't quite close above the opening range. It kind of wicked above. But it is retesting that VWAP. Decent risk to reward if it comes back up here. So 687 is where I got in. Five-minute chart. I don't like those wicks on the top side. Come on, let's get a good 5-minute candle closure. Take no marvel, I just mentioned that. So Lucid, your first 2 accounts with them are 50% off. Right now. You can do it right now. Happy Friday. Let's go. We got 120 people watching. We better have like 100 likes. Right? Right? If I go check, how many likes we got? Come on, chat. Let's go. Thanks, Take No Marvel. I appreciate the support. $120 watching at one time. That might be close to a record. Come on, NQ. Oh, man. That was not a strong 5-minute candle closure. They took out Lucid Black. So they kind of did like let the traders choose thing. They kept Pro and Black, which were very similar accounts. And they just kept the one that had the most people purchasing. But what they did is they called it Lucid Pro, but they kept the best from Black and Pro and kind of combined them. So everyone wanted a 1-day pass eval, so they kept that. And then I think it's still 3 days to pay out. So they kind of kept the best of both accounts. Yartex, good morning. Haven't seen you around in a while. How have you been? This is messy, you guys. Yeah, G-Man. I just looked over at the gold chart. That was a missed opportunity right there. Check this out, you guys. Man. The last 2 days, I've been super annoyed with gold. I just haven't been managing my stop loss properly. Like this right here was my pre-market trade. I got in there off of that move off of my high volume node and the retest of that news candle. And here I had put my stop loss at break even. It wicked me out. So several times I've had the right idea. I mismanaged it. Annoying. All right, stop loss will sit on that one, by the way. Tricky day, you guys. It technically broke out of the top side of the 15-minute opening range. Came back down to anchor VWAP, but it broke below it. It's still holding this green level, though. No reason for me to think that this is dumping further yet until we, like, break below that and hold below it. Did anyone get in on that long on gold? That is a beautiful move going on right now. And now NQ is doing it too. Yet again, mismanagement of stop loss. Dang it. NFP days are tough. Well, not just NFP, just all the data and everything. Today's a choppy day. 2 trades recently where I had the right idea, just mismanaged the stop loss. That's all right. Between the stop loss hit on the second trade and taking partials on and trailing profit on the first trade, I'm at break even. So I'm okay with it. Just need to find a good trade. Stay patient. Let's see what happens up here at 855, 24,855. That would be where I'm watching for a short if it comes up here. Possibly. I'm not the type of trader that sets a limit order. I wait for the reaction. So we'll see if it happens. Still wiki. Like even a traditional 15-minute opening range breakout and retest, it's like all over the place. I wouldn't even say that's a nice 15-minute opening range break yet, at least. We haven't had like a good candle closure outside of it. Tough trading day, guys. Hope you're managing your risk well. Oh my gosh, the FOMO on gold is real. G-Man, did you get in along? I hope someone got in along on gold. Anyone? Jeez. Let's see what happens at this red zone right here. Red zone, haha, football. I cracked myself up. Oh, that's right. You finished last night and then locked your accounts. Good for you. Smart move. I know. Cheechamus, that's the same exact thought I had as soon as I said the football comment. I was like, aw, there's got to be someone who's like feeling sad about that. I have to wait all the way till September to watch football again. All right, NQ. Nope. Still looking weak. No good, strong closure outside of this choppy range that we're in. I don't like shorts on NQ because we are holding this level. I don't love the idea of longs either because there's not a clear risk to reward. That was a good candle closure. So at this point, you can watch for a retest of maybe 700, 707. If it comes back down here, possibly. And then I would target VWAP. Let's see. I can't look at gold anymore. It hurts too much. I was in that trade on my personal account too. So I made like $65 instead of like $2,500. Ah, that's annoying. NQ's looking tough, guys. ES is looking very similar, honestly. Just kind of chopping around in the middle of this 15-minute opening range. I'll be watching ES and NQ. If both of them hit VWAP and start rejecting around the same time, that could be a good short opportunity. Oh, sorry, Kimmer. Didn't mean to make you feel bad. Honestly, that's why I haven't been sharing like P&Ls and payouts and stuff. I have mixed messages. I have people that want me to share payout screenshots and like profit screenshots, and then there's a part of me that's like, I don't want people to like compare or feel bad about themselves. All right, coming back down. All right, risk to reward wise, if we entered long here, it's such a big stop loss. I don't think I'm going to take it, you guys. This is too choppy. Let's see if we get a good buy up from here. I'm watching this level right here, considering along if it starts to react and bounce. It needs to get back above VWAP and have some aggression to the upside. That was pretty good. Yep, I like that. I'm going to enter here. See if we can get back up to 848. Draw this correctly on where I entered. And then I'm going to put my stop loss right below that wick at 663. All right, moving into profit at this point. Do I ever play the London Open? Oh, man. That's 2 o'clock in the morning for me. I wish. Sometimes the London session is good. I'm going to take off 3 of the 5 at that 850 level because that is where VWAP is, and that's also where we started to break down on the news candle at 830. But if this thing stays bullish, I'll leave a little runner. Kenny Span, I know you were watching the longs in that area too. Did you get in long? Why did I go long there? So, one of my favorite trade setups is a 15-minute opening range break, which it did, and then retest a VWAP. So that's one of my favorite setups. Opening range break, retest a VWAP. It broke down below VWAP a little bit. So I didn't enter here because I was kind of watching to see the reaction. But it held this like chop zone here. I also have this big support zone at the green box, which it's holding. So I was kind of leaning towards longs. I just didn't want to take a long on that candle because I didn't see buyers show up yet. So that's where I got in long because buyers started to show up. Go back to replay mode and watch the 1 minute candle here at 10:11 Eastern time. And you'll be able to see the like strong wicks. There were like jumps in it, and you could tell that there were like big orders at that level. And then in addition to all that I was watching on price action, I always watch the risk to reward. So my target is up here, which is 159 point target. Stop loss is 25 points. So I'm okay with that loss because the risk to reward is a 6.2. It's kind of just a percentage play at that point. I do use the 1 minute for entries a lot of times because I'm watching for like an engulfing candle at a specific level. The 5 minute is where I like to be if I'm just kind of waiting and being patient for it to actually hit a level. Because the 5 minute, you can see like this whole spot right here, it was super choppy. Like it reminds me to stay out of a trade when I zoom out to the 5 minute and I see that price action just looks gross. And it forces me to stay patient because in this zone, there weren't really any levels that I wanted to trade off of. But if you look at this same price action on the 1 minute chart, it's, for me at least, it's easy to get emotional with every little 1 minute candle. Like this candle right here, like, oh, should we go short because it's rejecting the 15-minute opening range high, and that candle almost engulfed the move. Like if I was watching the 1 minute chart, I would be thinking in my head, short. So I zoom out to the 5 minute when I'm waiting for a level to come. And then as we're approaching a level, I'll zoom into the 1 minute. I hope that answers your question. Yes, I'm in the trade. Sorry, I was going back to the chart to like show people why I entered, but yeah, I'm in it. Taking off 60% of the position at VWAP and this area where we started a breakdown on news. But leaving runners to see if this thing continues to the upside. Do I trade only one strategy? No, I have several. I like the 15-minute opening range, the trade that I just explained to you. The initial balance is probably my favorite. Those are the two main ones that I trade during the New York session, but I use volume profile to find my support and resistance levels. And I'll use that in confluence with the opening range and initial balance. My entry is 687. Yeah. That was a nice engulfing 5-minute candle right there. So, first target, like I said, is there. Really, I mean, I don't want to be super greedy with it. I'm definitely going to take off some there. But we do have the gap fill, I think, is like 25.40 or something like that. 25.48 is where the gap fill would be. So that would be a potential spot to take profit on the final two. If this thing breaks VWAP, of course. One thing at a time. Why don't I tell you before entering the trade? Okay. This is getting annoying. Like, dude, YouTube has a delay by like 8 seconds. I'm starting to get comments about this and it's getting annoying. Like, maybe I shouldn't live trade. Go back and watch the replay. I was sitting here for like 3 minutes straight telling you guys that I was watching this level. I'm not going to freaking trade for you guys. I can't enter the trade for you. You got to learn some stuff yourself and make your own decisions. I'm not here to give you signals. I'm here to teach you. So if you wanted to enter the trade, enter the trade. I told you what spot I was watching. But dude, I can't enter it for you. So leave. Go find someone else if I'm not giving you good enough signals, all right? Starting to piss me off. I don't get mad very often, but that pisses me off. Like, learn how to trade. I'm here to teach you. I'm not here to give you signals. If you want someone who's going to give you like live trades, not for free, you can join like a paid stream, because Zoom would be live. YouTube has a 10-second delay. That's not me delaying it. That's YouTube. And it's free. So, all right, soapbox aside, I'm done. If you don't like it, find somewhere else. Yeah, I don't get mad often. But when people blame me for missing a trade, like, get out of here. I gave you like 5 minutes of warning. If that's not enough, then get out of here. Sorry, for those of you guys who say nice things about my trading, I'm sorry you had to listen to that. I don't usually go on tangents very often. I agree with you, Yartex. That's why I specifically like don't want to be a signals group. In the Discord, I share ideas, but I don't want you guys to like just follow them. Yeah, I think it's better to learn and not just take signals from people. Did I take a course or did I learn from YouTube? I just learned from YouTube. So honestly, just like thousands of hours of YouTube videos. What do I use to copy trade? I use TradeSyncer. That one's my favorite. If you decide to try it out, you can enter code Krista and it gives you a 7-day free trial. I think there's a link that's been going up in the chat if you want to find it there. I think it's actually in the description too if you want to try it out, but they do have a 7-day free trial. He might be a Russian bot. Huh, maybe. That was enough to get me fired up, though. If it was a bot, then he got me. Oh, man. Well, thanks, you guys. I appreciate the support. It's definitely fun to trade with a chat. Kind of almost like trading with friends, you know? Who is my favorite channel? Ooh, that's a good question. So, let me pull up my YouTube, because you know how YouTube, like, algos kind of feed you stuff that you watch often. The thing that I've been clicking on lately is psychology videos. So, There's a guy named Pat Baloney. His channel is called Trading Mindset. He has some really good stuff. He's like a trading psychologist. I'll put it in the chat because I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's had some good stuff that I've liked lately. Bailouni. I think that's right. Pat Baloney, that's how you spell it. He's been one of the ones that I've been watching lately. But in terms of like strategies and stuff, I was all over the place. Really what I did in terms of searching for strategy was just searching for the name of the strategy. Like if I wanted to learn about the 15-minute opening range, I would type in 15-minute opening range. And I didn't care who the channel was. I would just watch those videos. Or if I wanted to learn about the initial balance, I would watch all of those. If you're interested in learning about the initial balance, check out Joey Morgan, his channel. That's actually the guy that I learned about initial balance trading from. But yeah, other than that, I've watched a ton of different channels on strategies. Can you copy trade from a personal cash account to evals and funded? Yes, I do. I personally do. I use TradeSyncer, and I have a personal account through Tradeovate, and then my like Lucid, Tradeify, Trade Day, all those are Tradeovate also, and I link them all to TradeSyncer. Drifter, I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Zinc is good for initial balance. I'll have to check that one out. I don't know if I've recognized that name. We're playing with VWAP right now. Oh, okay, so since I've started using Edgeful over the last couple months, Edgeful plus initial balance is so powerful. Like, I've actually considered not even trading the New York Open. I'm going to actually go ahead and take profit here because that's VWAP and it's starting to reject it. And I want to make sure to lock it in. I've actually considered like not even trading the New York Open and just waiting until 10:30 because it's so powerful. Initial balance plus Edgeful. I love it. Why do I trade NQ and not MNQ? Oh, I'm definitely on MNQ. I'm too scared. No, I definitely do not trade NQ. I did. There was a time in the beginning when I did. I was stupid and like trying to pass evals super fast with minis. I learned my lesson real fast after I blew 50K accounts in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe I need to slow down a little bit. VWAP on ES is same spot. Like we're right at VWAP. It is at 67.67 is what I have it at. That's the session VWAP anchored at last night's 6 p.m. open. For the New York session VWAP, it's at 67.39. What platform are you on, Drifter? Do I have any videos on my premium about Edgeful plus initial balance? I don't yet. That's something on my like content list. I would love to do a video on that because like I said, it's been one of the best additions to my strategy in the last couple months. I really like Edgeful plus IB, so I'll get that to you guys at some point. Honestly, to be honest with you, it might not be for a couple weeks just because I have my kids' spring break and all that stuff. But yeah, it's on the radar. Ninja Trader. So, Drifter, you could... I'm not familiar with Ninja Trader specifically, but I know it's similar to Trade-of-8. You can link your Ninja Trader broker login through TradingView, and you can chart on TradingView if you want to. Still kind of fighting with that red box area. So the reason I have this red box here is that's where it broke down at the NFP retail sales, that big old news candle at 8:30 this morning. And we had that little chop to the left right before then. You see this accumulation zone over here. So that being the last place that we broke down, plus 2 VWAPs. So this gray line, I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is our weekly VWAP, and then this is our session VWAP. So that's why I took part of my position off there. But I'm going to leave a runner up to the gap fill at 25.48, see if it gets up there. Is Edgeful how I find my bias? Not pre-market, no. Pre-market, I just look at like higher time frame on the hourly and gauge it based off of like higher highs, like higher lows, or lower highs, lower lows. Watch and see if it's above some of my support and resistance levels or below it. So that's how I find my bias. But Edgeful gives a good bias after the initial balance is set. So where our IB is where, I haven't even marked that off. We already have an initial balance breakout. So our stats on IB will be a little bit different. Let me go ahead and mark this off. Oh, wow. Initial balance high is all the way down here. So right now, obviously, Edgeful is going to show a long bias on initial balance because it's already broken above the IB. But let's say we were still chopping around, let's say we were still chopping around in the middle of initial balance, somewhere down here. You could look at this report right here, opening candle continuation. The opening candle is the first hour of the New York session, and it would give you these kind of stats, and it would give you a long bias with a percentage. So that can definitely help you with a bias. I also look at where is the initial balance break. So it shows that the initial balance, based on the size, based on the weekday, it'll show the percentage of if it's going to be a single break or a double break or what. So a single break means it's only going to break one end of the range, the top side or the downside. And if there's a long bias based on that continuation, the continuation candle is long bias, and there's an 80% chance that only one end of the range is going to break, you can put those two together and assume that it's going to break to the upside and look for longs. So again, today is a poor example because it's already broken the range, but if I had that data that I have today with a long bias and a single break, let's say it came down and like retested VWAP here, I could look for a long and target the top of the range. So that's kind of how I use VWAP if it's, or that's how I use Edgeful combined with the initial balance. So hopefully that answers your question about if I use Edgeful for a bias. Anything interesting on Edgeful today? So since we have a breakout, what we should do is look for the breakout continuation. So we can look for targets on where it might pull back. Another thing too is the gap fill. That's one thing. That's why I have my runners set up to the gap fill. Sorry, I know I'm flipping through screens. Hopefully you guys are following along. So this is the gap fill chart. The bias is long because obviously we opened below the gap. We gapped down. So there's a 60% chance that the gap will fill and the target would be 25.48. So that's where my runners are set to. Is 25.47.8, 47.75. So that's one report that I was watching. And then we can go to the initial balance breakout report and see if we have some confluence for maybe the gap fill with one of those extensions. So if we go out to initial balance breakout by levels and we look at breakout days, there is a 62% chance it'll hit the 0.2 extension. And then we have a 37% chance that it'll hit the 0.3 and the 0.4. So not as good of a chance, but pretty likely it'll hit the 0.2. So let's pull up our initial balance breakout indicator. We're already at the 0.2. We've hit the 0.3. So yeah, it's hard to use Edgeful today because we're already breaking out. You could look for if we get a failed auction, which means if it closes back below the initial balance high. Let's look at some of the retracement data. So if you go to retracement on breakout days, because it broke out, the 25% retracement, there's a 47% chance that it'll hit the 25% retracement. That is this yellow line right here at 24,774. So if we get a move back below the initial balance high, you could look for a long here at 24,774. Potentially. Looks like it might be coming down there. Might get a chance. No, I don't trade MYM. NQ during the New York session, gold mostly during the Asia session. And then every once in a while, I'll take a trade on ES, but I just have the ES chart up because it's nice to watch for confluence on NQ. But I don't even watch the YM chart, honestly. I noticed you don't buy above the 15-minute opening range break. What made you decide to trade to the pullback to VWAP instead? It depends. I think it depends on like if there's like a really big engulfing candle, and to me it seems like there should be a bigger pullback That's why. I think it's more of like a risk to reward play. A lot of times if there's a really strong break outside of the range, I don't have a clear spot to put my stop loss. So I wait for a little bit of a bigger pullback. $775-ish was where that 25% retracement was. Yeah, sorry, I got off track on that one. On the indicators, I believe, like I said, I'm not super familiar with Ninja Trader, but I believe it's very similar. Come over here. Dang it. Indicators. There we go. Volume based, and VWAP should be there. So, Drifter, check your chart and see if you have that. How did I decide to trade NQ and gold instead of other options? Honestly, my reason isn't that great. The person who like introduced me to trading, I had an acquaintance on Facebook that started posting about trading, and he traded NQ. So that was kind of just what I was introduced to. And then I've always heard that you should just kind of stick with one chart and get really good at that one chart. So NQ is what I started with, and that's what I stuck with. I started trading gold because there were some people in a Discord that I was in that were trading it during the Asia session. And I saw that it moved really well during the Asia session, so I started to learn it. You don't see it, Drifter? Do you have a community indicator tab? So if you go down here to the bottom, I don't know if you can see it on my chart because it's behind my head. Sorry, I'll move my head. So on that indicator thing, it says explore community indicators at the very bottom. It's cropped out of my screen, but it should be on there. Explore community indicators. And then it pulls up this type of screen, and you can type in VWAP. See if you can find it in there. Yeah, it is below VWAP. It's breaking below initial balance high, too. You could definitely scalp for a short. I wouldn't, just because I kind of like to trade with the trend, but I could see it maybe coming down to, I would target either the 25% retracement or this New York anchored VWAP. And depending on how much you want to risk, you could put your stop loss up above VWAP right there. Yeah, that could definitely be a good short. I would consider adding to my position here at 774 if we get a good bounce. Just looking left here, there's quite a bit of accumulation before that big move up. It's also the bottom of my high volume node, so pretty good support area. Previous day low and previous week value area low, and then our 25% retracement. So could be a good spot to retrace and bounce at 774. Would VWMA be the same? I would guess VWMA is volume weighted moving average. I don't know if that's the same as VWAP. Probably not, just because it has a different name. I don't know. I've never used VWMA. All right, coming down to that level. Let's see if it bounces here. Nope. Maybe coming down to that anchored view up. That red box on gold, I didn't want to short it because that was a really powerful move up, but that's kind of where it rejected. Gold could get a bounce at this VWAP too. Technically, the trend is down. Yes, 100%. You're right. Yeah, honestly, we could get a rejection and just continue like all the way back down to the bottom of the range because this is a downtrend. Looking at the higher time frame, this is lower lows, lower highs. Getting a bounce here. All right, I just added to my position. And then I'm going to move my stop loss into profit. So there's no risk. That's the only time that I'll add to my position. I've already taken profit, so I'm already happy with my profit. Stop loss is still in profit. So it's kind of just a free trade at this point. Do I have daily profit targets? And if so, do I stop trading after I reach them? That's the key right there, right? You can have a daily profit target, but do you stop after that? Yes. So I have certain accounts that I'll lock out. Like if I'm trading an eval, for example, and there's certain consistency targets that you have to stay within, I'll lock my accounts on those. I recently started trading a personal account, so obviously there's no consistency targets or rules or anything on that. So that one I don't have a specific like profit target. I kind of just try to take one or two good trades and then close it out for the day. If I have an account like the Lucid Flex accounts, for example, I try to get to at least $4,000 in profit because you can take up to 50% of your profit as a payout, and the max is $2,000. So if I want $2,000 to withdraw, I need to have $4,000 in my account. So I kind of do the math backwards. Like, let's say I had a really good trading day and I made like $2,500 one day. I still need 4 more green days to get a payout. So I'll kind of like cut myself short on the other days just to like trade safe to get to a payout. So on those days, I might cap myself at like $600 or $700 or something like that. So to answer your question, it kind of depends. If I have a prop firm account where I'm trying to reach a specific target to reach a payout or pass an eval, yes. On my personal account, no. I'll just stop after a couple good trades and try not to be greedy and make myself walk away. Yeah, I'm still in this long trade. 25.48 is the gap fill. Yeah, I agree. I try not to focus on having a profit target. That definitely messes me up. And I've actually done videos on that because it's something that I've struggled with for a long time and I still do struggle with. I've gotten better at it. I blame it on the fact that I have a math brain. Like I'm always calculating, like I need to make $685 to hit my profit consistency target, and if I hit this today, then I'll qualify for a payout tomorrow. Like, I'm always doing those. My voice is always in my head, is always saying those kind of things. So I have to like totally just shut that up in my head and just trade what the market gives me. Because if I start thinking about that kind of stuff, where I'm like, okay, if I just make $100 more, then I'll pass the eval, then I move my profit target, and then it messes me up. All right, gang. Sorry to cut this short. I actually have a meeting I have to jump on. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trail this stop loss because I'm already happy with my profits for today anyway. I'm going to trail this and then see if it hits my profit target, which is the gap fill. So stop loss or profit target, whatever happens, we shall see. But I got to run. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Today was a fun stream. Sorry about my tangent earlier, but I appreciate your guys' support. Hop in the Discord if you're not there already. If I didn't scare you away with my tangent earlier, come join the community. Use code Krista if you guys need to load up on any platform accounts this weekend. And I will see you guys around. Have a good one, guys. Take care.